Hello, my name is MichaelGiangreco. I'm a professor at the University of Vermont at the Center on Disability and Community Inclusion. Yesterday, which was October 1st, 2012, I had the pleasure of speaking with a group of about 130 school leaders here in Connecticut at the invitation of the A.J. Papanico Center for Developmental Disabilities here at the University of Connecticut. The title of the presentation yesterday was Alternatives to Over-Reliance on Paraprofessionals, Designing Inclusive Service Delivery Models. That's a big topic. Way more than I'm going to be able to share with you in this short video. So later I'll point you to some web resources if you're interested in reading more about this. But I want to just take a moment to tell you a little bit about some of the key areas that we covered yesterday. First of all, we spent a little bit of time talking about the importance of alternatives and what the data says over the last about 15 years in inclusive classrooms about the use of paraprofessionals. As many of you know, the use of paraprofessionals has increased dramatically across the country, including here in Connecticut and in my home state of Vermont, and really many places not only around the U.S. but around the world. The information that I shared, I mentioned to the audience that was there, is information that in some ways challenges conventional wisdom. And also I wanted to caution folks that the information, although it can be challenging, is not in any way anti-paraprofessional. That's one of the misconceptions about work that challenges our current use. So I know, and many of you know, that all kinds of paraprofessionals who are incredible assets to our schools. And so used wisely, they can really be an important part of the school service delivery system. That said, oftentimes we don't use them very wisely, and we need to look at alternatives. In the past, the focus has been on, let's just do a better job training them, supervising them, clarifying their roles, etc. And what we've been learning is, while those are all good things to do, they're not enough. So what we really need to be thinking about is designing service delivery systems that accommodate and support the full range of diversity presented by the students in our schools. So we spent a little bit of time talking about what the research data says about the use of paraprofessionals. And one of the key findings that's been replicated across the country and around the world is that there are a whole host of inadvertent detrimental effects associated with either the overuse or misuse of paraprofessionals. Just to be clear, this is not to blame paraprofessionals for what's happening. The responsibility for these problems lies in the collaboration between regular ed and special ed and what we're doing, which is why it won't be fixed by simply providing training to paraprofessionals. Again, even though that's a good thing to do. So we talked a lot about how you might conceptualize things differently and what schools can do. Not only what schools can do in terms of their existing paraprofessional resources, but examples of kinds of alternatives they can put in place to support their students with disabilities or other special needs. We talked also about some specific tools that we have field tested in our research at the University of Vermont, particularly the guidelines for selecting alternatives to over-reliance on paraprofessionals. What I'd like to do is invite you to come to our project website at the University of Vermont Center on Disability and Community Inclusion and look for Project Evolve Plus. I'm not going to give you the specific web address, it's too long, but just to say that you can find citations to much of the research and conceptual work we've done on this topic, and also we've collected citations to the work that has been done by many of our colleagues around the country and around the world on the same topic. This is a very important topic that touches in many ways to lots of other issues in schools. It's very interconnected with the quality of curriculum, instruction, and supports we offer to our students with disabilities. So again, I invite you to check out those resources and see if they might be useful in your own setting. Thanks very much for your time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.